Ravindra Kumar.
Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. Sir, it is a neglected area, has been given a serious thought-up and suitable legislation has been brought before this August House. I appreciate the Honorable Minister at this by this time. But directly I am going into the provisions with regard to the Section 3 of the Anti-Maritime Piracy Bill. That is Section 3 with regard to the punishment, deals with punishment. That is with death if such person is committing act. Death is a capital punishment which may not be accepted by the respective courts, including our Supreme Court. That is to be looked into. It may not be screwed, maybe stand for legal scrutiny. So coming to the other clause 5, section 3, subsection 3, in addition shall also be subject to restitution or forfeiture. It is both are contradictory. It cannot be either restitution or forfeiture. Restitution cannot be taken into place because it is restitution will restore it. That that word has to be deleted in this major hurdle for us in future legislation is concerned. Coming to the section 8, designated court is concerned. Designated court is already district court as specified it is not a original jurisdiction has conferred on the district court, that is the session judge, but the magistrate has no role in it to consider it. Likewise, section 6, the perusal of the section 6 clearly shows there is an ambiguity with regard to the investigation, prosecution, any person accessible by a police officer. The designation of the in the absence of designation of the police officer, it is a special enactment constituted for the purpose of a gap of 70 years. The Honorable Minister has given a thought of it with regard to the rank of the specific police officer. Such a designated police officer has to be investigated, not by the station house officer or inspector. That is an important aspect. It is not an ordinary matter. Designated. Section 7, arrest and seizure of the property powers have been entrusted to the warships. Section 7 is arrest and seizure that it has to be entrusted in military aircraft. This is also, there is an ambiguity, it has to be clarified. Coming to section 7, a necessity has been to felt the strength and enhance the presence of the security forces, particularly Coast Guard and aircraft. Section 8 deals with the designating with the Sessions Court to deal with such offences. If already existing courts are already designated for the purpose, they would face many problems. Instead of this, it would be proper for the government to set up a separate Sessions Court for the purpose of for each state. Section 11, presumption with regard to it is against the judicial criminal jurisprudence. It is nothing but a burden of proof. Burden of proof, it has to be decided. It has conferred on the accused, not by the prosecution. It is against the criminal jurisprudence. It has to be looked into. And section 9, a jurisdiction. A jurisdiction on two aspects. One is territorial jurisdiction. Another is persons accused with regard to the identity of the accused of the Indian citizen or Indian Yavi. Sir, section 12, there is no clarity with regard to that. Another issue, an important aspect is, in order to resolve the issues which were not specifically in this act, rule-making power is necessary. That was not mentioned in the enactment. In the absence of rule-making power, in any ambiguity during the course of the execution and implementation of the act, that has to be resolved only by rule-making power or to make an amendment to the existing act. Amendment to the existing act is not possible. Rule-making can be done. It is better to incorporate a rule-making power in this section. Coming to the other aspect, finally, my suggestion is the Honorable Minister and the government is that should have a comprehensive legislation so as to determine the jurisdiction in case of international waters according to the norms and guidelines of the international conventions. If any person is attacked by the foreigners, Indian citizen is attacked by the foreigner, it has to be dealt with Indian Prisional Code, not by this law. In such a case, it has to be dealt with a separate comprehensive law.
Please conclude. You have taken more time, sir. Please, thank you. Honorable Dr. Ami Yagnik ji.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity.